What is up, guys, and welcome back to A&R Gaming. We're going to be talking again about Genshin Impact, and more specifically about re-rolling. So as you guys can tell from the thumbnail of this video, don't re-roll. There is some issues with re-rolling in this game that you have to be aware of. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more in depth about that, and if you decide to keep re-rolling, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what you need to do before re-rolling. Alright, so let's go ahead and start it off with this. So right here, these are the banners that are going to be available to you guys whenever you first start and you get to that point where you can make your first re-roll. But the first thing that you have to pay attention to is the fact that re-rolling in this game takes forever. Not just, let's just exclude the percentage chance issue with pulling a character, a 5-star character on this game. Let's just talk about the time invested to getting there. So from the start of the game to the point where you can make your first pull, it's going to be about 20 minutes. That is the longest re-roll pull time I've ever seen in a game, period. So basically what I'm saying is that you have to make up your mind on whether A, you even want that time invested to make multiple rolls, because it's just going to be such a grind, and it's probably maybe even going to kill your motivation to play the game afterwards, to get the character that you want. And so, not to mention, so once we kind of established that it's going to take 20 minutes per roll, then we have to look at the statistics of rolling in this game. So right now, the statistics for rolling a 5-star character is 0.6%. Okay, so whenever you start, you're going to be doing the beginner's wish, most likely, because in this case, you get the discount on the currency to go ahead and pull on it, and it's just characters as opposed to characters and items. So if you're a big character fan as opposed to an item fan, then you probably want to do that. That's typically what people are going to be pulling on. Plus you get, a guaranteed Noelle. So she's not very good, but at least you get her, But so with the rates being as low as they are for getting that 5-star character, let alone the specific 5-star character that you want, are terrible. So whenever you compound that with the time it takes per reroll, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's going to be a miserable day of rerolling for you, and it's going to take a long time to do it. So what I'm recommending is just don't reroll in this game. This is a PvE game, right now at least. We will probably see some kind of PvP later on added in. There have been mentions of that. They did that with its sister game. So, that's probably down the road. But with every gacha game, the more time in between the start of the game that's passed, the more up in the air the tier list is going to be. So those beginning characters that were so good at the beginning are not going to be nearly as good later on. So you kind of have to keep in perspective the long game here. Now, since this is PvE, this does afford you the right to be able to kind of go through the game with whoever you want. Focus more on, who you like the looks of, or who you like the play style of, or something like that instead. Because you can go through this game fairly easily with just liking, any particular character. Now, it doesn't need to be the S tier character. So these are the kind of things that you really want to pay attention to whenever you're planning out your reroll process of the game, because unlike most gacha games, this one's going to take a long while to get what you want. So just make that decision up front and stick with it. Or if you do want to reroll, try to set yourself a limit, because otherwise you're going to be re-rolling forever. You're going to have that, just one more mentality, but it's not going to work out for you. And so at this point, if you do want to continue to re-roll, then that's fine. You are at least informed, so that's okay. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're coming during the pre-registration time, you want to make sure that you go online and you pre-register for all of the accounts that you think you might need. If you are going to re-roll 6 times, make 6 miHoYo accounts. That way you have the pre-registration rewards set up for those accounts whenever you go in. Okay, so that kind of helps with setting the tone for how many you're going to have. If you're starting after that fact, then yeah, it's just the time limits that you have to worry about of doing it, 20 minutes until you find whatever you want. So Keep those things in mind. I am going to go ahead and put the link for the pre-registration reward area in the description, so make sure to check that out. If you have anything to add to this video, make sure that you add that in on the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and subscribe, of course. It always really helps me out. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next time.